Welcome everyone to Therapeutic Yoga. Today, we are taking an entire class to focus on the sciatic nerve. So who is this class going to be really good for? Well, anyone, because the bottom line is we all get tensions in our sciatic nerve as we age. And I'm going to kind of quickly begin to explain that to you at the beginning of class before we kind of get into doing our therapeutic yoga today. So it's important to understand where the sciatic nerve begins and where the sciatic nerve ends, all right? So the sciatic nerve, if we look at this little skeleton here, these little yellow strings that you see are what's called your nerve roots. These are the nerves that come out from your spine to supply all of the muscles and skin to your legs. So the sciatic nerve is actually a combination of three different lower nerves, L4, L5, and S1, that kind of come out from your spine. They come out through these little tiny holes that are in the side of your spine. So not to your back of your spine, but actually in the side of your spine, that are called intervertebral foramen. So all of those three nerves come together with a couple of other nerves that are a little lower down in your pelvis to join to make this big fat nerve that comes out the back of your bottom called the sciatic nerve. So when people tell me, hey, where does the sciatic nerve begin and where does it end? Well, the physical nerve begins when it exits the spinal cord in the spine, in the lumbar spine. But truly, honestly, it is connected all the way up to your skull. So it runs through the entire spine as your spinal cord up to your brain. So when we talk about tension in the sciatic nerve, it really can be that the tension is coming in your back, in your leg, all the way from your neck. As far as how far down the nerve runs all the way down to your toes. Now, it changes its name. It stays sciatic nerve until it gets to the knee. And then in the back of the knee, it does something called bifurcation, technical term for splitting. And then it becomes different nerves as it kind of makes its way down to your foot. So the reason I'm taking the time to mention this to you today is when you're treating the sciatic nerve, it's not just about stretching your back. It's not just about stretching your hamstrings. However, those are two things we're going to do today. It is also about addressing where the nerve begins and where the nerve ends. So if you can imagine for a second, that little space, that circle that I was telling you comes out the side of your spine, that the nerve begins. Normally that space is nice and big. And so when the space is nice and big, the nerve easily fits in that space. And so because it easily fits in that space, the nerve can easily slide and glide through the low back or the lumbar spine. But here's what happens with arthritis. With arthritis, that little hole that's on the side of your spine becomes smaller. It's called encroachment. And as it becomes smaller, if this is a napkin, all of a sudden, it doesn't slide and glide anymore like it should, and that becomes entrapment. So what we're going to focus on in today's yoga class is treating entrapment of the sciatic nerve, meaning where is it that it cannot slide and glide well that commonly causes leg pain, buttock pain, foot pain, and give you specific therapeutic yoga exercises that can help work on that. So when we look at where are the three main places that entrapment occur, the first one are those little tiny holes out of the side of your back. So we're going to open those holes up today. The second place that entrapment occurs is in your buttock, also known as the piriformis muscle, because the actual nerve comes out directly underneath that muscle. So we want to make sure that piriformis muscle is nice and flexible and doesn't have a lot of tone, causing that entrapment or that choking on that nerve. And then, of course, the third main place that we've got to work on that nerve is when it comes and runs straight between between both sets of your hamstring muscles. So you have inside hamstring muscles, you have outside hamstring muscles, and the nerve runs in a tunnel straight between both sets of those muscles. So oftentimes when those hamstrings get tight, it clenches down on that nerve, and now the nerve cannot glide and slide. So hopefully by the end of today, if you have any back pain, any leg pain, or any sort of symptoms related to the sciatic nerve, you will feel better than you have in a very long time. So let's begin in a seated position for a moment, just to do one quick breathing exercise. And as soon as we do that breathing exercise, we are going to move right on to working on this nerve. So find yourself in a tailor sitting or having your legs crossed. It doesn't matter which one is in front or which one is behind. But let me make one quick comment on that. If you're someone that habitually sits with your right leg crossed closest to you, chances are there is more nerve tension on that sciatic nerve. Versus the leg that's a little bit less uncrossed, it tends to have less tension on the sciatic nerve. So maybe if you would like for today, try switching that around and just see how different life feels in a seated position. All right, move your pelvis forward and backward a couple of times. And after you've done a few times forward and backward, find the middle of the road. Hopefully you're somewhere near your sit bones on your bolster or a chair if you're practicing on a chair. Once you have that position, sit up nice and tall. Allow yourself to take your hands and hold a tray in front of you, imaginary tray, of course. And then just take a gentle shrug with your shoulders, rotate your arms outward, and then pull your shoulder blades and your elbows back and down. Now squeeze between those shoulder blades, get that spine nice and tall. Hold that position with the spine nice and tall, and just lean slightly forward to put the weight into your legs. And then unrotate your hands, place your hands onto your thighs near your knees today. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin, rest your tongue in the roof of your mouth. And if you can, and it's not too much to ask, just gently close your eyes for a second. Now, the key breathing exercise we're going to be using throughout this entire class is a diaphragmatic breath, meaning we want the air to come down into the abdomen, increase abdominal pressure as much as possible. So now that you've got your nice, good standing or sitting position, take your right hand, place it on your belly. Take your left hand, place it on your sternum or the front of your chest bone here. Keep that long position, keep that weight through the legs. See if you can keep your left hand over your chest perfectly still. And in through your nose, start an inhale and only let your belly move. And then slowly letting that air come out through your nose, just let your belly sink and soften, never letting the left hand move. Let's try that 2 or 3 times here. Inhaling, the belly expands with the inhale as you increase intra-abdominal pressure. That's going to help us mobilize those nerves today. And then as you exhale, you just let that air gently go out. 2 more times. Inhaling, belly expands. Exhaling, belly relaxes. And inhaling, belly expands. And exhaling, belly relaxes. Beautiful job. Very nice. Now, here's what I want you to do, something a little odd. I want you to kind of fall off of the back of your bolster so that the bolster is laying underneath your right thigh. Now, your left leg, you can place it straight out if you do not have too much nerve tension on your sciatic nerve. However, if you want to keep your leg slightly bent, that will decrease the tension on that left leg. What we are doing next has nothing to do with the left leg right now. It has everything to do with this right leg. So what we're going to introduce to our sciatic nerve at the beginning of class is what is called flossing, or we're going to slide and glide that nerve out of our spine, out of that piriformis muscle, and down through that hamstring nerve. So I want to teach you the different components of flossing. If you've had sciatic nerve issues in the past, this is the key thing you want to do to get the inflammation out of that nerve by creating mobility. So let's begin with what we need to do with our trunk and our head. So if you inhale and you lift your spine up, arch your back and look up to the ceiling, you're putting tension on that nerve in the spine area where it comes out. At the same time, if you exhale and kind of slowly let your belly sink and let your head come down, you're putting tension on that nerve through the entire spine all the way up to the head. If we take our foot and we point our foot down, it's allowing us to take the tension off the nerve. Contrary, if we point our foot up and straighten our knee, if you can do that, that's putting tension on the nerve throughout the entire leg area. So what we're going to try to do is to move the nerve back and forth through the low back, through the buttock area, and through the hamstring. So let's first find a nice, good seated position through our pelvis and our spine and practice the leg first. We'll practice the spine part second, and then we're going to try to combine them both today. So just very slowly make sure to roll your pelvis and find yourself in a neutral position. Have your spine nice and tall, not flexed, not extended. So if we point our foot away and keep our knee bent, no tension on the nerve. If we straighten our toes, ankle, and straighten our knee, full tension on the nerve. If you've got tension at home, you probably even felt your pelvis roll backwards. No tension on the nerve as you bend the knee and point the toes away. Full tension on the nerve as you straighten the knee and pull the toes upward. Okay, let's go to what's happening in the back area. So as we sit up nice and tall and maybe even lengthen our neck, we reduce the tension in the spinal cord. As we sink ourselves down and drop our head, we increase the tension kind of a little bit through the back area. So here's how we're going to floss. We're going to let ourselves sink. We're going to let ourselves lift. So kind of like a cat-cow, right? So sink on down, lift on up. Very nice. Sink on down, lift on up. Now, let's see if we can put both of those components together. So what we're going to do is we're going to sink on down, pull the toes up, straighten the knee. There, we're going to lift on up. Gaze up, point the toes away from you. So we're never putting full tension on the nerve where it comes out of the back. Try that again. Sink on down, straighten the knee, toes and ankle up. Sit up nice and high, point the toes away from you, keep the knee bent. Last time, sink on down, drop the chin, straighten the knee, point the toes up. And lift nice and high, point the toes away from you and gaze up. Very good. So you did 3 times there using both of those together. Now let's make it finally one more piece complicated by adding breath to it. So start with your toes pointed away and your knee bent. Take an inhale and lift your chest and look up. Now exhale, curl the spine under, straighten the knee, toes point to the head. Very nice. Inhale, bend the knee, point the toes away, lift the head up, lift the chest. Exhale, curling everything under, straightening the knee, pointing the toe. Final time. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the head, point the toe away, keep the knee bent. And exhale, curling everything under, straighten the knee, point the toe, hold that little floss, and then relax. Very nice. So when you do that movement of the nerve, what it does is it allows it to get blood flow, and that decreases the inflammation that's occurring to the nerve. Therefore, if you've got pain, decreasing your pain. All right, switch yourself so that now we're doing the left leg. So have yourself so that the bolster is underneath the left knee to keep the left knee bent. Again, the right leg, the leg can be perfectly straight, or you can keep it bent if you feel tension through that side. Once you're in this position, let's practice everything again on this side before we combine everything. So remember, through the leg, the toes are either going to be pointed away as the ankle is plantar flexed and the knee is bent, no tension on the nerve through the leg, or you're going to point your toes and ankle up and straighten the knee, full tension on the nerve in the leg. You at home might feel as soon as you do that, you roll your pelvis back because you do have nerve tension. Thanks for coming to today's class. All right, so that's the lower half of what we're doing through the nerve. Now let's go through the upper half of what we're doing through the nerve. Remember, you're gonna roll the pelvis, arch the back, lift the chest, gaze upward, tension. You're going to sink on down, drop the chest, chin to chest, looking down, limited tension on a certain part of the nerve. So the interesting thing about doing cat cow and sitting is you're actually tensioning the nerve in two different places, but the goal is we're trying to floss the nerve back and forth by alternating between the two. All right, so let's do 3 times here, 3 times here, and then we'll combine the two of them. So again, you're gonna work on pointing the toes and ankles, straightening the knee, and then bending the knee, ankle away, point the toes away from you. 2 more times. Point the toes up, ankle up, straighten the knee, bend the knee, ankle away from you, point the toes away from you. And last time, point the toes up, lifting that knee as that ankle's bent, and relaxing it down as it comes down. Through the spine, let's give it a try. So you're gonna roll the pelvis forward, arch the back, lift the chest, look up, and then you're gonna roll that pelvis back, sink the spine, chin to chest, look down. 2 more times, lifting it all up and sinking it all down. Very similar to a cat-cow, but really kind of focusing on that movement related to just one leg, and sink it down 1 more time for me. Good. Now, come back to the centered position. Roll your pelvis a couple times so you feel like your spine is in that neutral position. And now that you're there, let's try combining the movements to move the nerve, floss it, not tension it fully, but actually to floss it. So remember, what we're going to do is as we lift up, we're going to, let's see, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do that. Okay, so as we lift up nice and tall, we're gonna bend the knee, point the toes away. As we sink down, we're going to lift up with the knee, point the toes towards our head. That's it. So arch your back, gaze upward, bend your knee, point your toes away. Slump down, chin to check, gaze downward, straighten the knee, toes up towards your head. 1 more time, and then we'll add breath. Lifting the chest, rolling the pelvis, gaze goes up, knee bends, point the toes away, and finally slump on down, drop the chest and chin down, straighten the knee, toes come up towards your head. Very good. Now let's see if we can do all of that with breath. So start with your toes pointed, your knee bent, ankle plantar flex. Take that inhale and lift everything up. And then as you exhale, slump and sink down, straighten the knee, point the toes. 2 more times. Inhale, bend the knee, point the toes away, lift the chest and gaze up. Exhale, curling everything under, point the toes towards the head, straighten the knee. And 1 more time. Inhale, lifting everything up, gazing up, pointing the toes away from you with the knee bent. And finally, exhaling, curling everything under, straightening the knees, pointing the toe towards the head. Very good. So we have officially now started our class with flossing that nerve, giving it lots of good blood and fluid. So hopefully what we now do through the remainder of the class is untrap it from those 3 areas, the low back, the piriformis, and the hamstring. So let's start with the piriformis, shall we? So take your left leg out to the side and take your right knee and kind of bring it in so that it's crossed in front of you. You know what? Take your bolster and bring it to your right side of your body. That's going to kind of help you lean over into that side. Once you're in this position, see if you can grab your right ankle in the angle of your left elbow. Now, if you need your left knee bent here, feel free to do that. But just see if you can get that leg up a little bit off the ground. If you don't have that flexibility, hold your hand to your ankle. That will work just fine. Once you have yourself in this position, roll yourself over onto that right buttock. And then rest your elbow on your bolster and gently start rocking yourself back and forward as you find those tender areas in that right buttock. If that piriformis muscle is high in tone, meaning it is tense, 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 This may not feel the best, but just let yourself rock and roll, rock and roll. Now, find for you the point that is the most tense. Hold on to it for me. Take a deep inhale into that belly, all the way to the pelvis, guys. Exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. You've got it. Slowly push yourself up. Release that right foot to the floor. Take that left leg in, that right leg out. Take your bolster, move it to that right side so you've got something to lean onto. Now, on this side, same idea. Can you get the left ankle up towards the right crease of the elbow? If you've got the flexibility to do that, hold your leg in that position. If, however, that is just not what your hips got in store for you today, just gently hold your ankle and your right hand so that your leg is lifted off the floor into some flexion and external rotation. So what works for you? Now that you have that position, literally roll yourself over and rest yourself on your elbow on your bolster. Now, from here, allow yourself to roll forward and backward. So all we're doing right now is basically some muscle play, or we're just mobilizing the tissue to try to loosen it up so that when we stretch this muscle in a few moments, we'll be able to gain some good length and alleviate any tension on that sciatic nerve. Keep rocking and rolling. Give me at least a couple more. And then what I want you to do is find the spot for you. Hold that spot. I'm on it. Let's do 2 deep inhales and 2 deep exhales. Nice deep belly breath in, all the way to the pelvis, and exhaling out. One more breath for me. Nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. Beautiful. Now, very slowly relaxing that leg down to the floor, bringing your right leg in, allowing yourself to turn onto your hands and knees. Take your bolster for me and place it halfway on your mat. And once you have that, kind of get your knees hip distance apart. Look at your feet, make sure that they line up with your knees and your hips. Slowly allow yourself to kind of sit down onto your heels here. Rest your hands down onto your bolster and just slowly bring the crown of your head down onto the bolster to kind of rest in this position. Now, perfect opportunity to really practice that diaphragmatic breath here. So take a deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. Deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Beautiful. All right. Now let's come on up, hands and knees. Let's just do a couple of cat-cows here to open up that spine before we start to really open up those holes on the side of our spine that those nerves come out. So allow yourself to find alignment with your shoulders. Index fingers are forward, thumbs are nice and spread, wrists and elbows underneath your shoulders. Hips and knees stacked one on top of the other here. Now, inhale, sink your belly, sink your spine, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades back and down, lift up with the neck, gaze upward. Exhale, curl everything under, really tuck that tailbone, chin to chest, lift that spine up, spread those shoulder blades. 2 more times. Inhale. Inhale and inhale, move the breath through the whole movement, and then exhaling and exhaling and exhaling. Really allow yourself to arch that back, belly button up and in, tuck that tailbone under. Final time here, sinking everything down. And exhaling, curling it all up. Beautiful. Now, allow yourself to turn. We need to get our entire pelvis on this bolster. So the whole focus is to gap open the side of the spine here. So what I want you to do is have your pelvis and your left leg on your bolster. You can stack your right knee up if you like. And once you have that position, you will not need a block. You'll be in inversion. But if you do have vestibular issues that you don't want to be downward, then a pillow or a block will help you stay in a right side bend. That might kind of help that vestibular system a little bit. So here's all you need to do. Bring yourself down so that you're laying down basically in an inversion. Head is on the floor. Knees and pelvis are stacked onto the bolster. Once you have yourself in this position, left hand, if it needs a job, you can just kind of hold to the inside of the left leg, just making sure that that left leg doesn't lose its position on the bolster. Now, remember that those holes in the side are in the side, right here. So here's what we're going to do today. Take an inhale and straighten out your right leg. And then as you exhale, really imagine that pelvis dropping away from you as you get your foot to the floor. Now, you should feel a stretch through the side of your low back here. That stretch through the side of your low back is your abdominals, your quadratus lumborum, some really nice muscles. But I want you to think nervous system and sciatic nerve today. So as you pull that pelvis away from you, imagine those rings or those circles where those nerves coming out get bigger and bigger and bigger. Now maintain this position. Right hand can kind of hold also onto the left knee so you don't accidentally rotate yourself backwards. Common to do that. That's going to shorten that quadratus lumborum muscle. Lengthen that right leg away from you as far as you can. Now, the deepest inhales and exhales into that belly is what we need right now. So deep inhale into the belly, exhaling out. We're going to do that 2 more times if you can. Deep inhale. As you inhale, you're opening up those spaces where those nerves come out, and exhaling here. 1 more time, nice deep inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Now, take an inhale, lift the right leg up, and as you exhale, bring it back in, stack it on top of that left knee. Use your left elbow, right hand, nice deep inhale. On an exhale with a good abdominal contraction, push yourself back up, and voila, you're back in a sitting position. Now, just simply switch yourself. So now all you've done is moved your legs to the opposite side of your bolster. Your pelvis and your right leg are now touching the bolster. Left knee, stack it on top just so you've got that good alignment to begin with. Again, same idea here. All we're doing is slowly lowering down onto the floor into an inversion. Your neck will be in a fair neutral position in this inversion, so that's a good thing. You don't need a block, again, unless you feel like you need it for your inner ear issues that might be happening to you. So you do what you need at home. If you don't have any issues related to that, let the beauty of that inversion happen. So slowly drop yourself down onto your right side. Let your neck gently relax onto the floor. Why did I not put my hair up in a ponytail today? Not really sure. Right hand, give it something to do and hold on to that right leg on top of that bolster. We're not doing anything with our upper body today. It is all about those intervertebral facets in our lumbar spine. So now with this left leg, same as we did on the opposite side, take that inhale and slowly lengthen that leg out. Then this motion has to come from your pelvis, you guys. On the exhale, drop that pelvis down and away over that bolster so you open up those holes where those nerves come out on the side of you. Lengthen your leg away. Right hand, maybe hold on to that. Left hand, maybe hold on to that right knee so you don't rotate yourself backward. Common mistake. It shortens that quadratus lumborum muscle. Don't let it happen. Now, can you get that pelvis and that left leg any further away from you? Very good. Hold yourself in this position now. Let's do those 3 deep inhales and deep exhales. So nice deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out, keep lengthening that leg and pelvis away from you. You're opening up all of those segments of the spine where those nerves come out. Let's do this 2 more times. Nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. 1 more time. Nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. You've got it. Now inhale the left leg up, and as you exhale, bring that left leg back in. Using the left hand on the floor, the right elbow on the floor. Take a deep inhale, and then on the exhale, bracing through the abdominals, pushing yourself back up onto the bolster. Now, stay where you are on the bolster. We've now opened up through the holes in our spine. We're now going to start to tackle the piriformis muscle. So I am going to show you two different ways that you can really work on that piriformis muscle length. One in weight bearing, meaning we're upright, we're sitting, and then we'll do one laying down later in class. Now, why am I doing that? Well, some of us that may be doing this at home have the ability to get a deep stretch of their piriformis when their spine is being, when there's gravity on their spine. But some of us, if we've had back surgery, fusions or something like that, doing this first position, you just may not get as good of a stretch as you will when you take your back out of the equation, which is what we're going to do with the second one, laying down on our back. So let's position ourselves. So the bolster is still in the center of your yoga mat. Take your right ankle and take it off the corner of the bolster to the front. So that means if you look at your right knee right now, it's kind of in the center of your mat. That's where we want it for today. So this is a modified pigeon pose, but it's specific to the piriformis muscle, not the rest of the hip rotators or hip capsule. So keep that knee smack dab in the center of your bolster. Now, this pelvis bone, what you need to do with your pelvis is you need to be able to turn it so it is running perfectly in alignment with your pelvis. So slowly start to take that left pelvis and start to rotate it downwards towards your bolster. So ultimately what you're trying to do is get that left hip pointer as close to that bolster as you need to. As you get into that position, left leg, don't worry about it today. We're not trying to focus on hip flexors. This is about the sciatic nerve. So I really want you to see how far can you get that pelvis to level up with your bolster and your mat. Then slowly walk your hands forward. Now, in this position, can you check in that your shoulder blades or your collarbones run lined up with the front of your mat? Your knee still is in midline with your mat, and that pelvis is as level with that bolster and mat as you can. Now, you may already be feeling significant tension in your right hip. If you are, here is where you stay. If you got some more gain to make into that pelvis and those hip rotators, specifically that piriformis, think about the center of your chest here. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, try to bring the center of the chest to line up with the knee as you bring yourself down onto your elbows. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Now, hold yourself here. If you are feeling something in your hamstrings, well, hello, you're working your sciatic nerve today. This tells you you do not only have a piriformis issue, you probably have some entrapment lower than that. So only go to what is comfortable and not painful, but maintain this position. Take a deep inhale into your belly. Exhaling out. Let's do that 2 awful more times. Nice deep inhale into your belly. Exhaling out. I am sweating. One more time. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. You've got it. Now slowly walk your hands up onto the mat, up onto the bolster, unrotate that pelvis and take the tension off of that piriformis. Now, simply all you're doing is you're rotating yourself around on your bolster. Please don't fall off of that. But what you're trying to now do is the left ankle comes off the corner of the bolster so that that left knee lines straight up with the center of your yoga mat. So once you get the knee into the center of the yoga mat, you're ready to introduce trying to get the pelvis level. So slowly allow yourself to bring that right leg back and start to really turn that pelvis and that hip pointer down into that bolster. As you get in that position, oh boy, you'll start to feel it through the left buttock, but you should really be feeling it through that left piriformis muscle. Keep that hip pointer down. That's what's getting that muscle that we really, really want, that entraps that sciatic nerve. Now stay right there. Check in that your knee is still midline with your mat. Check in that your collarbones run in line with your mat, matches your pelvis. Stay right here if the tension is strong. Don't blow past the tension and pain. All you will do is cause injury. Unfortunately, we don't want to go there. So stay at your level. But if you have it in you, drop yourself down to your elbows. Take that deep inhale, pulling the chest down towards that knee so they line up. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Check in that that pelvis is still dropping down on that right side. Keeping yourself right here. Take a deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. 2 more breaths. Deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. 1 more time, please. Nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. Beautiful job, guys. Bring yourself back up onto your hands, walk yourself up onto the bolster, and then just simply slide yourself off of the back of the bolster. Once you've done that, we are done. We are done with the bolster. You can just gently move it off to the side so it's not going to be in your way for the remainder of class. Now, what I'd like you to do is to put yourself in a position that you're back on hands and knees. Line up your knees, line up your feet. Knees are directly underneath your hips. Walk your hands forward, index fingers, line them up, thumbs, bring them in as far as you can. Outer 3 fingers. Let's go through 3 cat-cows one more time. We've done lots of mobility already of our spine and our hips. Let's make sure that we gain that mobility by getting the movement. So take that inhale, sink the belly, sink the spine, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades back and down, gaze up. Now exhale, curl everything under, tuck the tailbone under, chin to chest. 2 more, please. Inhale, sinking everything down. Lifting up with that head, exhaling, coming all the way back up. Final time, inhale, sink, 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 sink. And exhale, curling everything back up. Now, gentle sit down into child's pose. Once you sit down into child's pose, keep your arms active here for a moment. And then gently just walk your hands over to the left side of your mat and then off your mat. Now take a deep inhale there. And then as you exhale, see if you can just kind of reach that right arm a little bit further. Take a deep inhale here and an exhale. Make sure your neck is long and your chin is tucked. 1 more breath, deep inhale here and an exhale. Then slowly walk your hands back to the center, staying in your child's pose. Walk your hands off the mat to the right side, feeling that stretch to the left side of the body, maybe hopefully into the low back a bit. Now just take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, slide that left arm up a little bit more. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin. 2 deep inhales and exhales here. So nice deep inhale in and exhale. 1 more time, please. Deep inhale in and exhale. Beautiful. Walk your hands back to the center. Come back up into hands and knees just long enough to lay down through your side. As you lay down through your side, roll yourself over onto your back and settle yourself in that position. Once you have yourself settled in that position, make sure that you can kind of rock and roll your pelvis a couple times, and it feels like there's plenty of space there. Then just bring your right knee up to your chest, followed by your left knee up to your chest. Keep your neck nice and long here. Settle your chin in. Close your eyes. Rest your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, pull your knees up and into your chest. Now, ample opportunity to work on that diaphragmatic breath for at least a couple of breaths here. So slowly inhale that belly into the thigh and then exhaling out. Inhaling into the thighs and exhaling out. Excellent. Now, slowly drop your feet to the floor. Grab your yoga strap. So we have done some spine opening. We have done some piriformis opening. If the sciatic nerve is trapped in those two places, we've already tackled it. Now we're going to tackle if the nerves are entrapped in the hamstrings. And we will end, I promise, with that final piriformis stretch that I was talking about. So just have the strap right now so it's kind of laying across your body. We're going to be using it in a second. Take your right knee up to your chest. Once your right knee is up to your chest, take your hands and interlace your hands behind your knee. Take your left leg, slide the left leg straight down the mat. Nice deep inhale here. And on the exhale, pull your knee up into your chest. Now, can you kind of snug your shoulder blades back and down, pull your elbows towards the floor, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Allow your toes to be pointed away. Now, we are doing nerve tensioning on to the sciatic nerve here. So you only go to tension of the sciatic nerve. So here's what I want you to do. Take an inhale, point the toes up first, stretch that ankle up, then straighten the knee. As you exhale, point the toes away, then bend the knee. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale, start with the toes and ankle, then start to straighten the knee. And exhale, curl the toes, point the toes away, and bend the knee. Let's do two more. Inhale, lift those toes up, lift that ankle up, straighten that knee, keep your neck nice and long. Exhale, point the toes away, point the ankle away, bend the knee. And final time, inhale, lifting the toes up, lifting the ankle up, straightening the knee, and exhaling, curling the toes down, pointing the ankle down, and bending the knee. Very nice. Sliding the left leg up, resting the foot towards the floor, resting the right foot down on the floor, taking the left knee up to the chest. Now, same idea here. Take your hands, interlace behind your knee. Take the knee towards the chest, and then take your right leg and bring it all the way straight down on the mat. Now, take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, pull that left knee nice and deep into your chest. Then take your shoulder blades, pull them back and down, pull those elbows down towards the floor to really secure that thigh to the chest. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Let's go through it one time before we add the breath. So you're going to have your toes pointed away, your ankle pointed away, and your knee bent. Then you're going to point your toes up, ankle up, and straighten the knee. That's what we're working on doing. So rest the knee down, point the toes away. Let's begin with an inhale, curl the toes up, curl the ankle up, straighten the knee. And then as you exhale, point the toes away, point the ankle away, bend the knee. So this is called a nerve tension exercise. Inhale, toes up, ankle up, straighten the knee. Exhale, toes down, ankle down, bend the knee. Two more times to match what we did on the right. Inhale, curl the toes, curl the ankles, straighten the knee. And then exhale, point the toes, point the ankle, bend the knee. Last time, inhale, toes up, ankle up, straighten that knee, keep those shoulder blades engaged. Exhale, toes down, point the ankle down, and bend the knee. Very nice. Slide the right leg up, release the left foot to the floor. Once you have that position, then take your right knee to your chest. Once you have your right knee back to your chest again, time to find that strap. You're going to use the strap as a straight strap today. So it can be a strap, a belt, it doesn't really matter, but take the strap and place it so that it's in the arch of your right foot. Hold the strap with both hands. Once you have the strap in that position, slowly let the left leg come down the mat. Now, in this position, here's what we want to do. Hold on to both straps, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Your ankle is already in a point of tension for your sciatic nerve. So just take a nice deep inhale here. On the exhale, tighten your abdominals and slide your leg straight away until you can get your knee straight. Should be no extra tension on the leg just yet. Now, slowly start to bring the leg up. It's like you're using both straps to slowly bring the leg up until, aha, there is the tension in the hamstring. There is the tension in the back of the leg. Now,
If you are at home and the only place that you're feeling tension is in your calf, just slightly lighten up on the ankle component of the sciatic nerve. But if you can feel it through the hamstring, the back of the leg, and the calf, that's okay. Just go to your tension level, not beyond. Now, holding the strap with the right hand, take the left hand and hold on to the pelvis and the hip pointer on the left side. Really important here that we don't allow our pelvis to move. If you are someone that doesn't have strong abdominals and a strong pelvis and you want to keep that pelvis down on the left side, then for some people, if you let your left leg bend and fall out to the side, it will allow that pelvis to stay down on the right side. I like to keep my legs straight, but it is an option for you at home. Now, in this position, get the knee as straight as you can get it. Keep the tension into it here. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, slowly let the leg go out to the side with the knee straight. Now, here's what I want you to imagine you're doing. You're allowing those inner hamstring muscles to be pulled away from that sciatic nerve here. Keep letting the leg go to your level. Keep the left pelvis on the mat. All right, now in this position, can you take an inhale and straighten your knee? And then as you exhale, is there any more drop out to the side? Let's do that one more time. Inhale, straighten the knee, and then as you exhale, can you drop that leg any further? Then very slowly bringing that leg up, straightening that knee, keeping the tension on the strap. You may already find that you can go further because you've already released tension of the sciatic nerve off of the medial or the inside hamstring. All right, now to do the outer part. This one, not so much fun for some people. So take the strap over to your left hand, please. Take your right hand and place it onto the right pelvis. So you make sure that the right pelvis doesn't lift off the mat. Allow yourself to secure your hand down onto that pelvis so you're very aware of when you get to the end of your tension of that outside hamstring. Now, really straighten that knee. Take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, start to pull that leg across. It is not as far as you think. Keep the pelvis down, feel where the tension is, hold it right there. Take an inhale and straighten that knee as much as you can. And as you exhale, can you drop it any further? Keep that right pelvis down. Inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale, can you drop it any further with that pelvis down? Beautiful. Slowly inhale the leg back up and then bend the knee, gently bringing the knee to the chest. Slide the left foot up. As you're in this position, a real cool, easy way to do this, open up the strap again. So you've got the strap in the right and the left hands. Just bring the left knee to the chest, take the left foot into the strap, right foot comes back down onto the floor, and you're ready to go all over again on the opposite side. So now that you've got the strap in both hands, and it's around the arch of your foot on your left side, slowly bring your right leg straight down onto the floor. Now in this position, take an inhale, and as you exhale, tighten your abdominals and slide the leg all the way away from you where you don't already feel tension. From here, slowly use both straps and with a straight knee, walk the leg upward until you begin to feel the tension in the back of the left leg. Now, it might be in the hamstring, it might be behind the knee, it might even be predominantly in the calf. If all you feel is the sciatic nerve tension in the calf, just gently lighten up on the position of your foot so that you're going to be able to do some work through the hamstrings. So in this position, keeping the knee straight, keeping whatever tension you feel you can tolerate through your ankle, right hand, bring it to that right hip pointer, hold that pelvis down onto the mat so that the pelvis doesn't move to the left as the leg moves to the left. Take a nice deep inhale here with that straight knee. On the exhale, slowly let that leg go to the side. Now keep the knee straight, keep the pelvis onto the mat. Where can you get to? How far can you go without that pelvis lifting off the mat? Take a deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, straighten that knee. Let's do that one more time. Deep inhale here. Exhale, straighten that knee and see if it's got anywhere else to go. Very nice, guys. Inhale, slowly bring that leg all the way back up to its center position. Maybe for you, your tension was predominantly with your inner hamstrings. If that's the case, with that knee straight, you may be able to lift your leg even further. I certainly can. All right, change the strap to the right hand. Make sure that that knee is still staying straight. Left hand comes up and onto that pelvis. Really make sure that you keep that left pelvis on the floor. So for some of us with a lot of nerve tension of the sciatic nerve and the hamstrings, there is a very small motion that's going to occur here. Knee straight, holding the strap. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, start to pull the leg across the body. Keep the left pelvis on the floor. Where can you get to? Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, straighten that left knee. Keep the pelvis down on the left side. One more time. Deep inhale here. Exhale, straighten that knee. You guys have it. Then inhale, slowly coming back up. Once you're there, exhale, relaxing the knee to your chest. You are done with that strap, so you can just take it and throw it away from you. Left knee is to your chest. Slowly slide the right leg up, and then take the right knee back to your chest. All right. Nice, good hug here. Boy, your hamstrings are loving you. So let's take a moment to just do a little tiny bit of tension with both together. So what I want you to do is take your right hand behind your right knee, your left hand behind your left knee. Keep your knees and your feet hip distance, but bring your knees to your chest. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, pull them even deeper to your chest. Now, can you double duty this? Only due to tension, ladies and gentlemen. So let's try this and see how good of coordinated movement you can make. So point your toes and your feet away from you. Here we go. Can you inhale, curl your toes up, curl your ankles up, and gently straighten both knees? Can you exhale, curl your toes down, point your ankles, and drop your feet back down? Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale the toes up, inhale the ankles up, inhale, straighten through those legs. Boy, my sciatic nerves feel good right now. Curl under with the toes, curl under with the ankles, let the knees bend. 2 more times. Curl up with the toes, curl up with the ankles. As you inhale, straighten those knees. As you exhale, curl the toes under, curl the ankles under, bend the knees. Final time. Inhale, toes up, inhale, ankles up, inhale, straighten knees, and exhale, curl toes down, point ankles down, and bend knees. Very nice. Release your left foot to the floor. Keep your right knee towards your chest and bring the knee now so that it's in the center of your chest. Then gently slide the left leg down the mat. Now, this is that piriformis stretch that I was telling you that for some of us that have a lot of issues with our back, either related to arthritis, stenosis, previous spine surgeries, this is the way to tackle your piriformis. So right hand, take it to the right knee. Make sure that the right knee is in the center of the body and that the pelvis has not rolled off the mat. So find that position first, then take your left leg, slide it down towards that right ankle. Now in this position, take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, pull the knee into the chest and pull that right ankle towards that left shoulder. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. I bet you feel your piriformis. Take a deep, deep, deep inhale into that diaphragm and belly. Exhaling out. Do you have 2 more for me? Nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. And just 1 more time. Deep inhale, belly breath, and exhaling out. Beautiful. Release the left hand from the right knee. Let the right knee and ankle straighten up. Once you have that position, slide the left leg up and then bring the left knee to your chest. Once your left knee is to your chest, release the right foot down to the floor and slowly start to bring the left knee up and into the middle of your chest. Once you have it there, take the right leg and slide it down the mat. Now, please check in as you take that left knee to the center of your body. Is your left pelvis still touching the floor, or have you rolled off the mat? Try to keep that left pelvis on the floor. Then use the left hand onto the left knee, slide the right hand down to the left ankle. Now in this position, take a nice deep inhale, and then on the exhale, pull the left knee into the chest and really introduce pulling that left ankle towards that right shoulder. Keep that pelvis down, keep that knee midline. All right, let's do this. 3 deep breaths, just like the opposite side. Deep inhale into your belly here. Can you feel that extra stretch when you inhale, and then exhaling out? 2 more breaths. Nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. 1 more. Nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. Great, guys. Keep a hold of the knee, but let the right hand let go of the ankle. Get that lining up. Slide the right leg up, and then bring the right knee to the chest. Deep inhale in. Exhale, pull those knees up and into your chest here. All right. Now let's go on to spinal twist here, but we're going to do spinal twist thinking about the nerves coming out of the spine today. So here's what I want you to do. Bring your knees down so that your feet are flat on the mat. Once your feet are flat on the mat today, gently shift your hips to the right side of your mat. Once your hips are to the right side of your mat, slowly let yourself just kind of lean your rib cage just gently towards the left foot. So you're kind of in a little bit of a side bend here, a little tiny bit of opening of those intervertebral foramen on that right side. And then slide your left leg down the mat, take your right foot to your left thigh, reach up for that right knee. Now, guys, you're not gonna get as much of a spinal twist as you normally do because you're in a side bend. But I want you to do just enough that you feel that opening through that right low back. So gently let your right hand come out to the side, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and take a deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, can you just slowly rotate enough that you feel that opening through your right low back? So you don't need to get all the way up to your right shoulder blade today. In fact, I discourage it. See if you can stay in that low back area. And then gently in this position, kind of lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and turn your gaze to the top right corner of your mat. Take a deep inhale here and an exhale. 1 more time, nice deep inhale and an exhale. Then slowly bring your head back to the center, de-rotate until the pelvis gets down onto the floor. Right foot rested down on the floor, slide the left leg up, right arm can kind of come in. Now, pelvis, move it over to the left side of your mat, and then just kind of side bend yourself a little bit down to the right foot. Once you're there, allow the right leg to slide down the mat. Allow the left foot to come up onto the right thigh. Reach for that left knee, left arm out to the side of you. Same deal here. You're in a side bend, so because there's already motion taken away, there's not going to be as much rotation to be had. So allow yourself here to take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, feel the pelvis lift. Feel that low back lift and just kind of stay there in your spinal twist today. And then lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and turn your head to the left, looking up at the top left corner of your mat. Now, deep inhale into the belly and spine. Exhaling out. 1 more good one. Nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Slowly bring in your head back to the center. Start with that rib cage, low back, whatever you have off, and then the pelvis, unrotate that leg. Place the left foot on the floor, slide the right leg up, and then bring your pelvis back to the center of your mat. Once your pelvis is back to the center of the mat, bring your knees up to your chest. Nice deep inhale here. Exhale, just bringing your knees nice and close to your chest. All right. We worked the entire sciatic nerve today, so let's end with a nice, good nervous system stretch through the spinal cord. So keep your knees to your chest, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, roll your rib cage up. How close can you get your knees and your nose? Allow your toes to stay pointed away, please. Take a deep inhale here, exhaling here. Slowly drop the rib cage back down, keep the chin to chest. Gently bring the neck down and then allow the chin to come back up. Rest the right foot to the floor, left foot to the floor, and then gently slide one foot to one corner of the mat, followed by the other. Make sure there's no tension in your low back. Roll your shoulder blades under, rest your palms upward. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Let's do a couple of those breaths. We spent an entire hour working on our sciatic nerve. So take a deep inhale into your nose. Open that mouth and sigh and exhale that air out. One more nice deep inhale in. Opening that mouth, sighing out. Exhaling that air out. You got it. All right, now just let your body rest and be still. Allowing the body to be still now. Let's just kind of think about those sciatic nerves. Remember, we've got two, one on the right and one on the left. It has a deep connection to our spinal cord all the way up to our head. But we focused on 3 areas that nerve kind of gets trapped and loses its ability to move. Through the side of the spine where the nerve exits, through the pelvis where it exits underneath that piriformis muscle. Believe it or not, for some individuals, it actually exits through the piriformis muscle. And then where it gets trapped as it runs in that tunnel between those hamstrings. So for you at home, you may have had tension in all 3 areas. That's a tight and tense sciatic nerve that needs regular work to keep it mobile. There may have been somebody doing this class that it was just one component. Like for me, it was that piriformis muscle that I really felt my tension. What was it for you? Just kind of think where you felt the tension as you did the class. Keep your body nice and still just for this last moment. Slow breath. And gently start to wiggle your fingers and your toes here and do some circles of those wrists and ankles. And then when you feel like you're ready, just slide up one leg followed by the other. Let yourself roll to your right or your left side, resting there for a moment, taking a deep inhale and an exhale. And then when you're ready on an exhale with a nice strong core and braced abdominals, use your top and your bottom elbow and push yourself up into a seated position. Find yourself in that sitting pose again. All right, I'm going to let myself change again so that I'm not into my tight sciatic nerve. Do what you feel comfortable at home. Now in this position, hands to heart, smiles on those faces. Let's take a nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today.